Shalom everyone. We are continuing Gemara Masechet Berachot. I am doing a follow-up recording because we had an issue with we had some tech issues, so we're going to continue from where we left off in the last shiur. We left off we last shiur is doing a recap of what happens, or really doing a full-out analysis of what happens if someone forgets to say Ya'aleh V'Yavo on Rosh Chodesh. For this next Gemara portion that we're going to learn tonight, we are going to analyze the next line of our Mishnah, which I will review with us right now. And we're going to have four interpretations of what this line of the Mishnah means. And there's a lot of very beautiful messages that we could take from this for our perspectives when we in Tefillah. So let's go. We are going to pick up from where we left off on 29B. Let me share a screen. And here we go. So where we left off in 29B is going to be from Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Kol ha'aseh tefilato keva, my keva. Before that, I just want to go back to the Mishnah so that we could see the Mishnah, so that we see what the analysis is. When we did the Mishnah on 28B, just a daf ago, there was this vague statement by Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, and I want everyone to be able to say this because it's very critical. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Ha'oseh tefilato keva, one who makes his prayer keva. Keva means fixed, set, permanent, established. So one who has a fixed, permanent prayer, ein tefilato tachanonim, his prayer is not supplication, and therefore it is flawed. It's not correct. He's not praying the appropriate way. When someone is praying in a keva manner, a fixed, permanent matter, they're praying in a flawed way. It's not a supplication. And as you see here in the commentary, the Gemara will clarify the halachic implications of this flaw. What exactly does this word keva mean? That will be the subject of our Gemara, and it's going to give us four answers, and we're going to learn some very beautiful lessons from them. Okay? So I want everyone to say this. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. You repeat after me. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. Rabbi Eliezer says, Haoseh tefilato keva. One who makes his prayer keva. En tefilato tachanunim. His prayer is not a supplication. His prayer is flawed. And now what we're going to do is, what does keva mean? So let's go. Let's pick up from where we left off. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. Kol haoseh tefilato keva. The Gemara asks, my keva. How do you define what does keva mean? Answer number one. Amar Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi, Amar Rabbi Oshaya, Kol shetifilato dome alav kemasoi. Anyone who views his prayer like a burden. Masui is a burden. It's when we say fixed and permanent, we mean something that's heavy. Keva has an expression of heaviness. So anyone who makes his prayer heavy, burdensome is actually how to translate it. How do they translate it? They say like a burden upon him. Yes. So the keva, how said tiflato keva, one who views his prayer as burdensome, ein tiflato tachanunim, his prayer is not a supplication and it's flawed. Yeah, for obvious reasons. If someone is just saying like, oh, I have to do this, prayer is supposed to be a relationship between us and Hashem. It's a relationship where we're asking, we're self-introspecting, we're reflecting, we're going through experiences, we're begging. It's you're not doing God a favor by asking him for something. You're doing yourself a favor. So if someone feels like it's a burden that I just have to do to check off a box, it's a flawed understanding of what it should be. And so therefore, excuse me, therefore, someone who prays as though it's burdensome, his tefillah is flawed. So I want to give an example that I spoke about in shiur last night. Or when we last had shiur, here is the idea. Let's say someone wants to pray. Someone normally prays mincha, arvit, and a minyan. Then one night, for whatever reason, they weren't able to catch a minyan for arvit, so they didn't pray in a minyan. Okay, and now he forgot to pray arvit, and he's in bed. He already has on his pajamas. He's already brushed. He's washed. He's ready to go to sleep. He goes in his bed and he's about to say Shema Lamita, about to say Shema right before going to the bedtime Shema, and then he realizes, I didn't pray Arvit. Now I gotta get out of the bed. I'm already all cozied up. I have to get dressed. I have to do this. I don't want to do this. Fine, I'll do it. Fine. Okay, like That's the wrong attitude going into prayer. Why? Imagine someone had that attitude in a relationship with his spouse. Okay. Imagine his wife, all of a sudden, a person comes home and he's like, "Oh, I have to talk to you now. Oh, I really don't want to talk to you, but okay, I have to do it. I have to check off this box. Hi, honey, how are you? Yeah, I hope you're good. Okay, I'm ready to go to sleep now. Good night." Like that is not the right attitude someone has when talking in a relationship. So how it says, if Keva, one who makes his prayer or views his prayer as burdensome, and tefilatot chanunim, his prayer is not a supplication. It's not appropriate. It's flawed. It's not correct. So what should someone do? Let's say someone is in this mindset. Let's say they remember that they didn't pray Arvit. What should they do? They should take a minute to get in the right mindset. Okay, I'm in bed. I'm all cozied up. I am ready to sleep. I realize I didn't pray. It shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be that. It should be, okay, you know what? I thank God I have the opportunity to get up. Thank God I have the ability to stand. I have the ability to verbalize. I have the ability that I have my mind that I could think, that I could remember. Thank God that I have the opportunity to ask for my health. I have the opportunity to ask for success, for wealth, for my children, for my family. I have the opportunity to ask for forgiveness. I have the opportunity to ask for success. View it as a privilege because that's what it is. Okay, so that's what this first answer is. Answer number one is tefillah should not be burdensome. And if it is, get yourself in the right mindset. Okay, number two, Rabbanan Amri, Kol mi she'eno omra b'lashon tachanunim, anyone who does not say it in the language of supplication, not saying it in the way of someone who is asking and begging for someone. That's what keva is. If someone is saying it in very terse, keva means like fixed in the sense that there's no fluff built in. There should be. For example, we say Selach na avinu ki chatanu. Please forgive us because we have done things incorrectly. That is a way of asking from a place of humility. A way of not asking humility would be forgive me. But this is saying, please forgive me. And it's saying, because I know I've done something wrong. Also, the Amidah structure is you start off by praising Hashem, Elokeinu, Elokei Avotenu, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Ha'el, HaGadol, HaGibor, VeHanora, El Elyon. You're starting off by setting the stage. You're great. You're powerful. It's a privilege for me to even be here. I'm from the family of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, who have dedicated so much to you. I'm dedicated to you. You don't just come and just say like, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. But there's please around it, and it ends up with thank yous. It's coming from the way someone who is begging. It's supplicatory. It's coming as a supplication. So someone who does not use the right terminology, the tefillah is not acceptable. You might say, well, God knows what I mean. God knows that I am coming from a place of humility. No, a person has to say the words in the proper way. They have to say them from a place of humility. And it's helpful that we have the siddur, so we say it with for the Siddur, and we're set. But if someone is going to start going off and use their own prayers, they should know that they should come from a place of humility. This is the second answer of what it means to be fixed in the sense that there's no emotion here, there's no supplication here, there's no begging here. It's just here's a fixed list of a bullet point list, and both of these are inappropriate. Someone who wants to pray should have number one, it shouldn't feel like it's a burden. It should feel like it's a privilege. And number two, should come with supplicatory words, please, thank you, the shevach, the hoda'ah, etc., etc. Okay, these are the first two answers. Answer number three. Rav Yosef, D'Armi Tarvayu, both Rabba and Rav Yosef gave answer number three, which is Kol she'eno yachol chadesh ba'davar. If it's Keva means something that's fixed and established, which means the person is unable to introduce any new novel element. There's no personal prayer in here. It's exactly the same. And I'll tell you where I think this comes up a lot. Let's say there's a back-to-back mincha arvit minyan, right? Someone prays shacharit in the morning at 7, 8 o'clock, and then prays mincha at 4 o'clock. There's a lot that goes on during the day. The mincha could be different because maybe they had some different experience during the day. But where I struggle with this the most is mincha arvit. Mincha arvit, very often you're praying mincha, and then arvit's going right into it 5 minutes later. and your mincha and arvit, you didn't have any life experience between the two. So how do you have any different? It's like literally, I just said the Amidah, and now I'm saying it right afterwards. The emotions are at best going to be the same, but no. So what this opinion is saying is that you should include something new. Every time you pray, it should not be keva, it should not be fixed, it should not be set, it should be dynamic. So this time you think about something else. For example, the Berachot 29B, you could be thinking about health for someone else, or you could be thinking about health about another part of your body, praying for one's heart, praying for one's ability to see, praying for one's ability to breathe, praying for one's ability to feel, to go to the bathroom. There's so many things that for their body to regenerate when they have some scabs or cuts or they have some sickness, to pray for that. Another example is Salachna Avinu Ki, as I mentioned, asking for forgiveness, right? It could be that someone focuses on another avon, another sin, another failure of their midot that they have, something that they wanted. The first time for mincha, I could think about Hashem, forgive me for getting angry. That's something that I'm working on. And the next one is Hashem, forget me for I eat food without making brachot before or after. There's something new there. There's something that makes it unique. So that's what this third answer is. One who makes his prayer fixed. It's like you're just reading a text that's exactly the same, but there's no new emotion. There has to be some new emotion. Someone who cannot add something new, that's problematic. That's answer number three. Now, Rabbi Zera doesn't like this answer. He doesn't like answer number three. Look at what he says. Amar Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera says, Ana yachilna lechadushe b'amita. I can add something new in every prayer if I wanted to. If I wanted to, if I really thought I should, I would be able to think of something different in every prayer. But umistafina, but I'm scared, dilma mitradina. I'm worried that I'm going to become confused. Okay, bear in mind, they did not have sidurim in those days. So what Rabbi Zera is saying is, I could pray, and then in Berachot B'Fa'enu, I could start thinking about the health of my stomach and about my respiratory system and my cardiac system and my heart, and I could think about the health of my brain and of my skin. But you know what's going to happen? All of a sudden, I'll be like, oh, where am I up to? Did I finish yet? Am I up to Modim? Am I in the middle of Shema Kolina right now? Is this the end of it? How do I pick up? What are the next words? Did I say Refuah? How do I end this bracha? I forgot. So this is what Rabbi Zera says, like, look, I don't have a siddur. I want to say the prayer so I don't get confused. Because if the more that I break things up, the more confused I'm going to get. So I don't think this is the right answer. There's nothing wrong with just saying the same exact thing without adding something new every time. There's nothing wrong with that. Because there's value in being able to actually complete it, right? And I know that if I say something and I start thinking about something, no, I won't be able to complete it. So what did I gain? I said the first four brachot and then I got stuck. And I don't know where I was up to. So that's why Rabbi Zera doesn't like this third answer. Okay? Now, answer number four that the Gemara says is two opinions. It's Abaye bar Avin, Rabbi Chanina bar Avin, two rabbis. It seems like they had the same father. Maybe they're brothers. Damri Tarvayu, they both said, Kol she'en mitpalel im dimdume chama. It's anyone who does not pray with the redness of the sun. What this means is, at sunrise, the sun is red. As it, so if you could look at the sunrise, you could look at the ball come above the horizon, it's like reddish. And also at sunset, or right before the sun sets, it's like redder. So what this opinion is, you know how he says Keva is a problem, praying in a fixed way is a problem. You know what that means? Praying at fixed times. Not adjusting yourself to the times of the sun is a problem. What he's saying is, if you say, oh, I go to Shacharit 7 a.m. all year round, and I pray Mincha 2:30 p.m. all year round. He's saying that's a problem. Why? Because your prayer is fixed. Your prayer is set. Your prayer is established, and you shouldn't do that. Rather, he's saying you should change your time of prayer based on sunrise. Pray shacharit as the sun rises. That's the Hanetzach Hama minyan, Vatikin minyan, and pray mincha right before sunset. Imdu mechama. Amar Rabbi Chiyava Amar Rabbi Yochanan, because as Rabbi Yochanan told us, mitzvah li'itpalel im dimnu mechama. It's a mitzvah to pray with the reddening of the sun. Amar Rabbi Zera, Rabbi Zera says, "My kra'ah." What's the pasuk that it implies this? Yira'ucha im shamesh v'lefnei areach dor dorim. It's a pasuk in Tehillim that says, "Yira'ucha," your fear of Hashem should be im shamesh. together with the sun, which means I should pray shacharit as the sun rises, and I should pray mincha as the sun sets. So this is the problem. Now, what he's saying is that if you're not praying when the sun is rising or the sun is setting, your prayer is fixed, and that's not tachanurim. That's not a good supplication. Okay, so that's what this fourth answer is. But in Eretz Yisrael, they didn't like this answer. Laite Allah b'ma'arava, in Ma'arava, meaning in Israel, they would curse, or they would view very negatively, Aman de im dimdume chama, someone, at least for mincha time, for mincha, someone who would pray with the redness of the sun, meaning he would pray mincha as the sun was setting, in Ma'arava and Eretz Yisrael, they viewed very negatively. It says they would curse him. My tama, why? Dilma mitarfa le'shata. Because maybe he's gonna miss it. Why are you leaving? You have a good 6 hours to pray mincha, and you're gonna leave it until the last minute. You're a procrastinator. If one thing goes wrong, you're gonna miss mincha now. Don't do that. So in Marava, they didn't like this, and so you see, this answer is almost also rejected. We had this statement in our Mishnah that told us, Keva and one who sets his prayer, one who makes his prayer set and established, his prayer is not a good supplication. What does Keva mean? Four answers. Answer number one means it's burdensome. We hold like this. A person's prayer, he should have a mentality. It's not a burden that you're just trying to check off a box, but it's an opportunity to ask and beg from Hashem. Answer number two, Keva, that means if you're not using the right terminology, you're not using terminology of supplicatory, asking please, thank you, shevach, praising Hashem. So if we also hold this way, and that's why when someone prays, they should follow the formula of first starting off with praise, ending off with thanking, asking in a way of not entitled. I'm not entitled to anything, Hashem. I'm asking this of you as a gift. I'm asking this because I know everything is in your hands. That's the second answer. The third answer is, sorry, the third answer of what is keva, if it's fixed and set, identical to your last prayer, that you didn't add anything new, that's a problem. But Rabbi Zera defended us against this. One second. Rabbi Zera defended this practice by saying, look, yeah, you want me to add something new every time. That can't be the pshat of the Mishnah, because you know what happens? I know if you add something new every time, you're going to end up losing it. You're going to end up, people are going to forget. People don't have Sidurim. So what do you want from them? You're going to end up saying, I'm going to add one thing, and then I end up losing the entire half of the prayer. So Rabbi Zera rejected that answer. And the final answer was, Keva means fixed set times. That's a negative thing, that you're always at the same time. Why? Because you should be dynamic. You should be adjusting yourself, because it should be good to pray with sunrise and sunset. Now, sunrise, I see the value in. What's the value of sunrise? Is that it's the first opportunity to pray, and I take that moment and I'm going to pray. Fine. But what's the advantage of praying sunset, right before the sun sets? Actually, in Eretz Yisrael, they didn't like that. They said you're leaving it for the last minute. So what's the advantage? So the Art Scroll brings a footnote that tells us that the redness of the sun reminds us of two things. There is a redness in Gan Eden of Bezron Hashem and Olam Haba. The Art Scroll quotes this to say that, you know what? Let me just look it up. I have this here. This is footnote, if you're looking at the Art Scroll, this is footnote number 11 on 29B2. The significance of praying at these times may be explained as follows. The Gemara in Bava Batra Daf, Pei Daled, right, 84a, suggests homiletically that the sun appears red in the morning because it passes near the roses of Gan Eden, and it appears red in the evening because it passes by the fires of Gehinnom. So when someone sees the redness in the morning, they're getting inspired to go to Gan Eden through their good actions. And when someone sees the redness in the afternoon, they're remembering the fires of Gehinnom, where they want to make sure not to do avonot, not to do sin, so that they don't go to Gehinnom. And so that's why, based on this, it's that when someone sees the redness of the sun, it motivates them in a certain way. But in Ma'arava and Eretz Yisrael say the one in the afternoon is a problem, because you're going to forget. The one in the morning is great. That's the mitzvah of Vatikin. That's why we have a Gemara Mitzvah Berachot already spoke to us about this, about the concept of Vatikin, that the people who are very diligent and scrupulous and meticulous in doing mitzvot, that's how the right way to do it is, that your shacharit should be im dum dume chama, with the rising of the sun. And the Gemara in Masechet Berachot Daf Tet, I believe, is where it says how someone who prays Hanetzach Hama in the morning, nothing bad is going to happen to them that day. So there's a tremendous advantage of doing a netz in the morning. In the afternoon, in Marava, they didn't like it. So once again, this answer is rejected. So we have four answers for what it means, Ha'oseh Tiflato Keva and Tiflato Tachanunim. And the key things that we learned from the first two is that, and yeah, the first two. The first one, what we learn is tefillah should not be a burden. It's a privilege. It's an opportunity. We should never view it as a burden. So if someone is in a situation where like, I forgot to pray, I have to pray. No, that's not the right attitude. I have the zechut. I have the privilege. I have the opportunity to pray. I have the opportunity to ask for something. I'm not doing God a favor by praying to him. You're not doing him a favor. So you're begging and asking for your life, for yourself. That's a zechut. You're going to come in and say, oh, okay, you know what? I don't need your prayer. Hashem could say, I don't need this. So that's the first thing we've done. The second one is to come from a place of supplication, to ask from humility. We're not entitled. God doesn't owe us anything. So you're going to come in and say, give me this, 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 and that. God's not your secretary. And you shouldn't speak to your secretary that way either. God's not your AI agent that you could just put bullet points in your AI agent. I need XYZ. God, give it to me. That's not how it works. It has to come from a place of humility, a place of please, a place of supplication, and then Be'ezrat Hashem, our tefillah will be answered. Yiratzon Be'ezrat Hashem, we always have the right mentality when we're praying, and then in that zechut Hashem should answer all of our tefillot letovah. Thank you, and see you next week.